What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name is Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. Today is Wednesday for you guys, which means it's time for a WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress for those of you who are not aware. And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. If you're coming back to see me, welcome back. WIP and chat is basically where I'm going to chat your ear off for about an hour. The first half, I just catch you up on my life or whatever I feel like talking about. And then the second half, I usually first I will read a tarot card from the Fairies Oracle, and then, we chat about that, and then usually some mental health related things. Sometimes I make it the full hour, sometimes I don't. Depends on how the autism is working, if you know what I mean. But all that said, let me get into my tools really quickly because I've got several out here to present to you. This tray here, right now, Mary Morales is going on. Mary Morales is an event based around the artwork of Margaret Morales, which is the canvas that I'm working on here. And it is ending at the end of January. So this is technically week 6, and then we're going 8 weeks. And the event will be getting done at the end of the month. Sorry, I had to pause for a second because the cat was yowling for whatever reason. The tray that I have here in front of me, this is actually from one of our sponsors. This is not the event tray. I'm waiting for that to arrive because Firefly, the maker of the event tray that is coming out, is actually out of the silk needed to make the event tray. So I'm waiting on that. But it's the same as this tray, just a different color and with some designs on the top. This is the Switch Mini Max from Firefly. Yes. Now, Firefly has some really innovative trays. This one is one of my favorites. It has a removable lid. I usually put that off to the side. And then it has a removable trash tray that you can put in there, take out of there. There's a hole in the top where if you've got your tray laying down, you can put your diamond painting pen in it and it won't roll away, which is really handy. And then it's got an open and closed pour spout on here. So love, love, love this tray so much. So glad I'll have an event tray like it coming up. I've also got my trinket tray here. This one is from Flowa Designs, and they've got a trinket tray, a tray, and a pen combo that you can buy. But this is just the trinket tray. It says Mary Morales 2024. And then I've got 3 pens here in front of me. Sometimes I like to switch it up, or I use the pens for different things, but I have a beautiful pen here from Mystic Makers. This one was based off of the Mizuchira canvas. Look at this thing, you guys. Is it not like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? So freaking fancy. But I use this when the larger pen is like too big for my hand for a little bit. This beautiful pen is from Bistro Exclusives. This one was a custom pen that they made for me, also based off of Mizuchira, though that's not the canvas I'm working on anymore. I finished that one, but y'all, it's a lava pen. Look at this. It's got a dragon on the inside. Oh my God, I love it so much with these flowers and this feather. Oh, it's lovely. I love this thing. Now, obviously, I like a big fat chunky pen. And then this one here is actually, I'm using this one as a straightening tool, but this is a pen from Peachy Keen, and it has a little specialty in it. Check this out. It's like a rattle. Oh, I love it. But I use this to straighten things out. Put that in my trinket tray along with my Mystic Makers. And then this here is my pen holder from Zodiac Shadows. It is also a Mary Morales pen holder. And I'll put this over to the side with my pens in it so that they're out of the way. And then I have in my pen, in the multi-placer, I will be placing Eggnog from Putty Crocker's Boutique and More. I love this smell, y'all. It is good stuff. I don't know what the dog is doing over there, just scratching on stuff. That's sugar. And then in my single placer, I have Ghost from Diamond Painting Daily. This is their symbol over on Etsy. You can find Diamond Painting Daily. This is like a glue dot that you create yourself. The ghost goes from white to clear when it dries, and it is amazing for ABs, just regular old drills, anything. I love this stuff, but I do need to load up my pen with some of my putty here. And then in the meantime, oh, I gotta show you what canvas I'm doing, don't I? I suppose. I suppose I could if I really wanted. Hold on one second. All right, I am working on, let me get to the right page here. I've already completed Mizuchira, and I've moved on to a new painting, which is Down the Rabbit Hole. It is based on Alice in Wonderland, obviously, and it is so cute. Oh my goodness. As you can see, I'm like just above her little knees on this. So here's her knees. I'm like right about here in the like frills of her little dress. So cute. Anyways, so all of that said, oh, I'm sorry. I've also got release papers here. This one is an event release paper, and this is from Lowena's Designs. Where did I put the little packet? Well, it's from Lowena's Designs, and there's 4 different varieties that you can get. This just happens to be one of them. I designed these for the event, you guys, and I love them so much. But this is the square I'm going to be working on, so I'm going to move this release paper out of my way and get to it. You guys, it is, like I said, it's Wednesday for you guys, but it's Tuesday when I record this, and I'm trying to think of all of the things that have happened since last Tuesday. Because there's really not like a ton that goes on in my life, honestly. I don't work. I just do, the YouTube channel. And so like not a whole lot of eventful things happen to me in my life, just generally during the week. But oh, I got my nails done. Look at these. I feel like a magical unicorn or something. I don't know. I love them. They seemed just fun. I wanted to do something different, so that's what I went with. And I don't do anything else really like to treat myself or whatever except for getting my nails done. It's the one thing, well, one, because I feel like, I have the YouTube channel, and because you guys only see my hands. Now, if you were looking at my face, maybe I'd be paying for makeup or whatever, but I figure since you guys are looking at my hands the whole time, like my hands should at least look, like they should appear at least something like worth looking at. They're clean, they're manicured, whatever. I like my hands to look presentable, since I don't have to show you my face. Wow, this eggnog. It's so like, woof. The smell just wafts instantly. But yeah, I got my nails done. That was fun. And then, well, I had a little incident with Mr. Senior Beans, my Great Pyrenees. I took him for a walk. It would have been on Monday now because, was it Monday? It was Monday. I took him on a walk, and I do kind of the same couple of blocks for a lap that we go on. Sometimes it's 1 lap, sometimes there's 2 laps. It just kind of depends on, what I'm in the mood for or whatever. And this particular walk, I think I was planning on a 2-block lap. I'm not really sure. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but we start going on our normal walk, and I get to the corner from where I live, like just down the maybe 3 houses this way. And we get down to the corner, and every time we do this walk, he pees in basically the same places. He does basically the same things. So there's not really any element of surprise, whatever. Well, we get to the corner, and I happen to notice to my left and down a couple of blocks that there was a car accident. I noticed that there was a fire truck, there was, police cars, and it looked like a pretty bad accident, and I wasn't like trying to be nosy or whatever, but there were lights. I was looking at it, you know, whatever. And Beans, meanwhile, was peeing on the same bush that he always pees on. And I use this retractable leash for him. And I would say it was out maybe like 10 feet, something like that. More than I would normally give to him if we were just, you know, walking on the sidewalk. But he was peeing on a bush, like in against this house. And so I wasn't thinking anything of it. It's the same place he pees every time. Well, what I didn't notice when I was keeping my attention occupied by looking down the street was that a man was headed toward us on the sidewalk, and Beans finished going to the bathroom, saw the man before I did, and then decided to take off to go at the guy. Now, not like, you know, dangerously like snapping, growling. He was barking, he was wagging his tail. He's very excited by people, and he's big and he's kind of dumb, and he scares people because of his size. Well, I was not expecting him to like hit the end of his leash, which is about that thing retracts like 20 feet out. It's a long way. Well, he gets all the way out to the 20 feet and yanks me hard. And you guys, I went down on my left knee, and then I rolled on my right shoulder. It was like down on the knee, over on the shoulder, and I rolled and managed to keep a hold of the leash the whole time this happens. He's still running at the dude and pulling me through the grass. Well, through the dirt, really, because this house doesn't have any grass, and is trying to excitedly say hello to this man who's just minding his business, trying to walk down the sidewalk. Well, I finally, like, I yank him back and yank him back and yank him back enough so that I have him kind of retracted. The guy starts walking again, which I wish he wouldn't have. But I finally get him back over by me, and I realize, like, my knee is trashed. He has really done a number, and I bring him back, like, the 3 houses back down this way to bring him home. And I'll put a picture up here. When I got home, I took a look at my knee and, like, the damage. You know what I mean? I was, like, trying to assess, like, how bad it was. Oh, man. It hurt badly. Really. Oh, wow. Dog's scratching on the gate. 1 second. She was trying to get upstairs with the kids. Where was I? Yeah. So, picture of my knee. The crappy thing is the house that it happened at, they have a camera system, and the house has been like, nobody's lived in it. It's been vacant for a long, long time. I don't know who has control of that video system, but they're about to be really amused. I wish I could get a hold of them and be like, yo, if you have like this date and this time where I fell and busted my crap in your yard because my dog pulled me down, like, could you send that to me? Because I'm sure it'd be great for a laugh. I mean, obviously, you know, today, yeah, my knee is a little bit sore, but I'm okay. Like, I lived, right? Obviously. But ooh, man, we get back to the house, and basically I kind of put Beans on like a timeout. He kept trying to come over by me, and I was like, dude, not right now, man. I'm not in the mood. Like, let's not. I don't want to pet you. I don't want to comfort you because I am hurting. So I iced my knee, elevated it like really quickly, and I made it, you guys. I made it. I'm fine, but oh my Lord, it hurt so freaking bad. Like, ugh. So I'm a little more attentive, obviously, today than I was before, because I just, yeesh. I'm just going to be better at making sure I know my surroundings before I get myself distracted by something. It's like, you know, this sort of, ooh, shiny sort of deal, because I saw flashing lights, got distracted. I'm going to have to be a little bit better at not just looking at the next shiny thing that's in front of me, because, yeah, it sucked real bad. But, you know, I was just grateful that I fell in the grass and not like on the sidewalk proper, because that would have sucked. I'm just glad that he kind of pulled me into the grass instead of, you know, pulling me down on the sidewalk, because that same knee about, oh gosh, I don't even know, 8 years ago now, maybe even more than that, I was out in front of my house and I was wearing a pair of Heelys. I don't know if you remember what those are. They're like these shoes that have a wheel in the heel, in both heels, hence the name Heelys, because they got wheels in the Heelys, right? Well, I was trying to show my son how to use them, because I was pretty proficient then on Heelys. And so I'm, you know, trying to give him a lesson, whatever, and he's holding my hand and decides to take off running like he's seen me do, to go take a run, and then like you just sort of glide on your heels. And when he went and took a run for it, pulled me with him on my Heelys, and I ended up like going down on the concrete and went right down on my left knee, that same knee that I went down on in that picture. So, sort of a re-injury to the same knee that is kind of just always sore. But, it sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. And it's funny how falls like that kind of remind you, one, of how old you are now. Like, I mean, I got back up. I'm all right. But definitely did not recover as quickly as maybe I would have done, or my reflexes even were not maybe as fast as they would have been when I would have been in my 20s or whatever. But I hate feeling my age, you know, it's kind of the worst. I just turned 44 back in December, beginning of December, and those like reminders of my mortality and my age, like I think about, oh my God, it could have been so much worse. Like I was, you know, contemplating the whole time, like, oh my God, should I go to the hospital? Because now I'm old and probably have brittle bone syndrome or something. Probably don't have brittle bone, but still, I'm thinking like, oh my God, do I need to go to the hospital and have this checked? Because I could be broken, like legitimately. And I thought, no, I'm gonna ice and elevate, see how I'm feeling, and it turned out I was fine. But I was mad. I was mad at Senior Beans for a little while after that. Not gonna lie, I was a little upset. But, you know, I think in his mind, he was just, well, one, taking advantage of the fact that I was distracted, clearly. And then two, I think, you know, in his mind, he is a Pyrenees, and Pyrenees are bred to be guard dogs, right? They're bred to watch over a herd of whatever you put them in charge of. And so I'm sure in his mind, like, this is a person he does not know and walking toward his mom, which could be stranger danger, like he doesn't know. So, you know, on the one hand, I get it. It's partially instinct. And then on the other hand, it was 100% him taking advantage of the fact that I was not paying attention to what was going on. And he saw an opportunity and he bolted for it. Didn't succeed, but he sure did try. So, yeah, that was my fun and excitement for the beginning of the week. I just, like I said, I felt my age when it happened. Like, I thought, oh my God, I'm broken. I'm just done. I'm broken. Forget about it. Call the ambulance. I'm going to be laying here in this person's dirt for the next, 30 years or so. And this is my life now. But I survived, obviously. So yeah, that was that was my fun story for the beginning of the week. Otherwise, I feel like, I try to remember to write down like little interesting things that happened during the week, and then I forget to do that. And, it's sort of symptomatic of having an autism issue and then trying to remember to do things. It's a lot more difficult than, than you maybe, I'm not going to say than you'd expect, because I don't know what you expect, but it can definitely be a challenge. And so, I also, like, I don't, when I do these whip and chats, right? Like, I don't do any real editing. I might edit if I'm off on a ramble or something, or it's kind of all over the map. I might take the time to actually edit some things, but really, I just turn this on, I chat for about an hour, and I don't have like necessarily a plan to what I'm going to say, or, like, I'm not trying to make people laugh. I'm not really trying for anything except to chat for an hour. And so I don't want to tell stories that sound rehearsed. I don't want to bore the shit out of people by talking about my boring life, which is mostly just, sitting here and diamond painting. So, like, I don't really come up with any kind of a specific plan on what exactly I'm going to talk about. So, on the one hand, it can be good because I don't lay a lot of expectations on the whip and chats, but at the same time, like, I want to tell you things that are more than just like, oh, yep, had a week. There were 7 days. The next time or the last time that you talked to me was on a Wednesday, so let me go day by day through my week. It's like, I don't know. I could tell you all about what I've eaten and really make it boring for you, but I don't try for a lot of structure. And I'd like to think that the less editing that I do, the more authentic that it is. So I hope that's appreciated. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you don't even care. You're just sitting there listening to me while you diamond paint, which I've done with other people's whip and chats. So anyway, just a brief glimpse into my brain and why I do what I do, or how I plan what I do without planning anything around what I do. Yeah. So in other news, I had mentioned that we are into week 6 of Mary Morales, and it has been just really fun to watch people finishing canvases and to win prizes. Like, I love giving away prizes. I feel like that feeling of, like, okay, for those of you who are old enough to remember Oprah and the Oprah show, and how she'd be like, check under your seats, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. I really do have a lot of fun when I have my Saturday Night Lives and I give stuff away, and it just makes me happy to make other people happy. And I feel like that's just kind of been a symptom of my whole entire life. That feeling happy by making others happy. And, damn the consequences, even if it meant, detriment to me, I always wanted to make others happy. And, you can really learn a lot about yourself when you kind of analyze why that is, like why a person feels the need to make sure that everybody else is okay before themselves. And a lot of it, I feel like, is symptomatic of my youth and growing up with a person who has mental health issues, and then subsequently, addiction issues or alcohol issues. And, I've found this like peace inside of knowing that I don't have to do all of that. Like I don't have to make my life about making sure that everybody else is having a great time. Though I really do enjoy it, and it does really and truly like bring me a sense of like comfort, I guess, and satisfaction. But I also don't want to spend the rest of my life in attempting to make sure that everybody else is okay and then not making sure that I am okay. I recently spoke to a young person, and we were talking about their struggle with a parent who is themselves struggling with some issues surrounding addiction and alcoholism, and some of the like, and this is not to be said out of meanness or a place of not understanding or whatever, but I see some of the excuses that person has made for themselves as to why, either A, they can't get themselves out of a situation, or B, like they don't know how to execute in order to find like this inner peace. And I listen to those excuses and they sound so familiar to what I dealt with for a really long time. And you start to like reminisce on kind of, how did we get here? What did I do to get here? Why was I so convinced as a young person that all of these things that I was dealing with were completely normal? And I think that, there's a lot to be said for human resilience and the ability to really just persevere through hard times, things like that. And I'm very grateful that part of this lesson that I've been learning includes like self-reliance and self-care. And, I quote it all the time because it really does mean a lot to me. RuPaul has a saying during all of RuPaul's Drag Race, which is at the end, RuPaul always says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? And I realized, and it took me way too long to realize that, that mantra can be applied to all parts of a person's life. And so I'm working a little hard, well, without working at all, worked hard at just trying to break myself of those old bad habits. And it's good to put those things into perspective. Like I said, speaking to a young person who's struggling with a lot of the same things I struggled with at the same age, it's like, man, I didn't know then, and I wished somebody would have told me, like, nah, you got to stop worrying about this, that, and the next, and start doing things for you. Things that bring you joy, things that make you laugh, things that make you cry in a good way. Like, the onus is always going to be on me to take care of me. And I have to keep reminding myself of that. And for those of you out there who do the same, whether that's, you know, making sure you're taking care of another person or taking care of yourself, you have to remember it too, that the onus is definitely on you to make your situation different. I almost said better, but sometimes that's not even the case. Sometimes it's less about making the situation better and more about making the situation different. So anyways, I don't want to get to rambling because I could do that very easily. But as we've just about hit like the halfway point, ooh, throw my pen around. As we've just about hit the halfway point, I want to make sure that I get into the tarot card, but I'm looking for a color first. Where in the heck did it go? Looking for the percent sign. Oh, there it is. But yeah, I wanna read the tarot card to you so that we can get our thought for the week. I'm sure it'll say something like, "Hey, how about you don't go down on your knee in front of some stranger's house." But apparently I missed that memo. All right, let's see. We'll go one more after this. There we go. All right. We bring down this plastic so we don't get any of the cards stuck in it. Okay. So I always use the Fairies Oracle at the back half of the WIP and Chat, and I always shuffle them beforehand, and this one, this top card popped boop right out of the deck when I was shuffling, so I always know that's the one I'm supposed to read. Okay, so the Fairies Oracle, this is from Brian Froud, who is the conceptual artist for the movie Labyrinth, and there's text by Jessica Macbeth. So this is my card, and I'm going to turn it this way, because that's going to tell me which way to read it. And it's right side up, and it is, I think that says Tayton the Sylph, right? If it doesn't, well, I'm about to find out. All right, let's see what this card has in store for us. Oh. All right, let's see. That's 39. All right, got to go to 45. Oh, we're close. There it is. Tayton the Sylph. Acute intellect, quickness, mental synthesis, and discernment are the keywords. What we see here is mental quickness, adaptability, and enthusiasm. Ideas and opinions abound. A few are brilliant, but others vary from mediocre to downright silly. Be selective. Mental and psychic abilities may be awakening. Oh, fancy. Oh, where did it go? There we go. Independent thinking is in operation. New ideas and new versions of old ideas are creating an exciting, effervescent atmosphere. Avoid excess and extremes. Minds may change often as new ideas and new ways of seeing bubble to the surface. Out of conflict and confusion, resolved by goodwill and clear thinking, a new and better understanding may come. All right. Well, I like how oftentimes we get this like recurring theme wherein it's about independent thinking, or it's about, you know, you're going from mediocre to downright silly. And just like reading through it, it's amazing to me how the cards can connect with each other but all be their own thing at the same time. Now it says, no, I read that. Out of conflict and confusion, resolved by goodwill and clear thinking, a new and better understanding may come. And I have always really kind of prided myself on being mentally quick and, you know, having a lot of opinions, because I do have a lot of ideas and opinions. And I am often reminded that whole idea of like, not my circus, not my monkeys sort of deal, you know, because I put myself all up in the middle of other people's stuff. And I can't do it. As quick thinking as I may be, and as quick at or adept at I might be to fixing somebody else's problems, does not mean that I should. Like that whole just because you can doesn't mean you should sort of idea. I feel that way often, where I'm like, want to fix it, want to fix it, want to fix it. Let me get up in there. Let me fix it. And then I forget to remember that no one asked for my help. No one asked me for my opinion. Why am I giving it? Why am I? And it's not about wasting energy, because I don't think that it's ever a waste of energy to assist others. I don't think that it's a waste of energy to, you know, like promise yourself to others in some sort of meaningful way. Like I said, I spent so many years doing that and making sure that everyone else was okay. I would get to this point where it's like, holy crap, I've checked in on everybody. I've made sure that everybody at the party, or the party of life, or whatever the hell you want to call it, that they've got a drink, that they've got snacks, that they've got what they need. And then it was very quick that I picked up on the fact that all of these same people just, sorry, I was looking at drills, got myself sidetracked. All of these people were essentially just like using the crap out of me and taking advantage of the fact that they knew I would just pick up the slack for them. I would just do for them. I would just take care of it. And it grew into resentments. It grew into resentments in my life, and allowed me to make excuses for myself, and giving all of these excuses the power over me, that, you know, I couldn't do more, or I couldn't be more, or I shouldn't want more, or whatever. And I dealt with this crying need for people to need or love me, or whatever. And in the end, I'm not even sure that with some of those people that I ever even had their respect, much less their love or their friendship or whatever. And man, oh man, like the card says this creativity that, that a person has, others are drawn like a moth to a frickin' flame. They just want to be. I almost feel like some of those people just want to feel superior in some sort of way. And so their answer to it is to let me carry on doing all of the freaking work and then them taking all of the freaking credit. You ever run into that? You ever have that? It sucks, man. It sucks. Because I have a pathological need to be liked by every and anyone. So, look for a drill. Guess I'll go with that one. Oh, man. Always deep stuff, always heavy stuff. And I'm so glad that I'm learning. I'm learning to let go of some of those past resentments for others in the ways that, they would make me feel used up. It's an awful feeling. So I'm learning very, very quickly that you should only put as much energy into a person, place, or thing that it's going to give back to you and in kind. So, like, fine. I'm not a saint. I feel like I'm going to make mistakes, as I've mentioned, but there are those who are very forgiving of your mistakes until somehow it affects them or whatever. They're very, oh no, it's okay, don't worry about it. But it's all like this soft and subtle feeling of having somebody, walk up behind you with a smile, but then they're ready to cut you down at any opportunity. It's a crap place to be. It really, really is. How are we doing there? There we go. So, anywho, that's all about that, really. I'm learning, and I'm going to continue to learn, and I'm hopefully, even though the card says I could, but I'm going to try not to stifle my own energy for everybody else. There we go. Ooh. There we go. There we go. Anywho's, tell me down in the comments, do you feel like you were born a people pleaser? Were you born a how do I word this? Did you ever feel like you were minutes away from some sort of mental or emotional collapse, and a person came along who didn't ask anything of you, didn't want anything of you, but was willing to like walk life's path next to you instead of walking ahead of you and utilizing all of your gifts for their own. Like they want to be on the path with you. I'm very lucky that I have that. And I wish that more people did, because I could drive myself nuts. I don't need anybody's help. Anyways, all right. I don't think that I need to keep you forever and ever and ever, but I do want to expand on one thing from last week that I had talked about, intentions versus revolutions. And I was really doing my homework. I was really racking my brain. Like, how can I imply this, apply, not imply. How can I apply this for myself and make it work in my life? And, I feel like I'm getting somewhere slowly, like I said. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. All I know is that with at least the particular new group of friends that I have, I've never had to feel like something I said wasn't worth listening to, or that I was being used or manipulated for their own good. Like, I'm just happy. I'm happy with what I have going, and I have to learn to be content with, oh, there we go. I have to learn to be content within myself. And as I was saying earlier about old resentments kind of rearing their ugly head, and, you know, me being stuck in that position, well, I still get stuck. And I think the difference is, now that I'm older, is it takes less time for me to accommodate or to like change direction or route or track and turn it into something that works for me and everybody involved. And while sometimes that can be really, really tiring, there we go. Someday, you guys, I feel like all of us will be able to let go of these past resentments, let go of our inescapable, sometimes, need to make other people happy when, I'm not going to say when they don't deserve it, because that's not true. Everybody deserves to be happy. Everybody deserves to be, you know, content in themselves. Every person also should feel needed and wanted. And if sometimes doing for others gets you there, that's great. But I'm learning quickly that that is not what defines you. So, anywho, I hope all that made sense. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's word salad, and I don't even know what the hell I said. But, oh, come on, get in there. Oh, there we go. Well, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, I want you to know that just in case you're in a situation where you feel like whenever you feel like you're the person who's kind of pulling all of the weight on your own, that you don't need to be that person for everybody all the time. Let some of that go. Let some of that get delegated out, and let somebody else take charge and be the, you know, the creator of solutions sometimes, because all you're going to do is wear yourself out for a battle that you would then, it would not be easy to keep up, you know? Oh, guys. Well, I think I'll probably wrap it up there just because, oh, you know what? I won't. 1 second. I decided I wanted to look up some quotes on resentment because in AA and NA, in recovery of any kind, we're always told to let go of our past resentments, because your resentments, they really do like make you sicker, right? And keep you from your ultimate goal, which is to stay safe and sane and sober. And I'll tell you what, I got some really, really, really amazing news for a friend. Diamonds in Recovery. Tonight, and I'm not going to share what that news is, but what I will share is that, Noelle, I am so proud of your accomplishments and what great things that you have happening for you, okay? My intention, instead of a resolution for this upcoming year, is to really focus on not being the person who fixes everything and the person who has all the right answers and the person who attempts so hard to make others around me, like, whether they want me to or not, accept my help and accept my expertise and my knowledge and whatever. And I know that I can be successful at what I set my mind to, especially when I watch you and what you have set your mind to and accomplish. You really, like, you remind me of why it all works if you work it. And it also reminds me that, you know, if I ever need an example of resilience and strength, that I have it. I have it in you, and I love to see it. And then I will leave you with a couple of quotes about resentments, because remember, if we keep our resentments make us sick, okay? This quote comes from Nelson Mandela about resentments, and just based on what I've been talking about, this seems to really ring true. Nelson Mandela says, resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemy. How freaking true is that? So don't stop and think that just because you're angry and you drink some of this poison, that somehow, some way, it's going to affect your, like, the other people that you're with and not you. And it's no. And then from Elizabeth Gilbert, Resentment is the little fire that burns in the corner of the soul, consuming everything good in its path. And it's part of why resentments make us sick and keep us sick. We can sit and stew on these resentments and really, really let them break us. Well, I won't allow it. I won't allow it. You guys, I would like to thank you for hanging out with me, listening to my late night rambles about whatever. And, you know, always, as always, listening to my WIP and chat. If you made it this far, why don't you put a rose emoji down in the comments section so I know you made it this far. You're amazing, and don't let any other jerks out there try and convince you otherwise. As ever, you guys, I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, that you are having a phenomenal morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'll see you again real soon, okay? Bye-bye. Look at my nails one last time. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. It's so cool. All right. Bye-bye, guys.